Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships here in Hanover, Germany. Amazing things happening right now. On the other stream, if you weren't watching, Anexus just took out SK Telecom T1. Close game, long game, but they managed to take the win. They're now leading the group. I repeat, Anexus is leading the group
2-0.
2-0.
CJE Enters Frost are 4th place in this group, 1 loss in their name. They're about to play now. We're going to see them against EG, see if they can get that back. But Anexus, I want to go quick a little bit into that game, and we didn't cast it. It was on the stream. It was on the B stream. But from what we can hear, there was 2 Barons. Anexus took the first one. SKT took the second one. Anexus then managed to beat them in the following fight while they had this Baron and go on to win the game. Raven had his Twitch again, like he did in the first game, and we saw how terrifying that could be. And from what it sounds like, it got very strong again in the last game. But Anexus managed to overcome that and still take the game. I can't wait to see them play. I really can't.
I'm looking forward to it. I just want to quickly touch before we go into this matchup. In terms of the table right now, we mentioned already, Nexus 2-0 in the group, MYM 1-0, SKT1 are currently 1-1, and the bottom 3 teams all sitting on 0-1-1 include CJE Enters Frost, SK Gaming, and Evil Geniuses.
No offense to the likes of MYM, SKT, and the Nexus, but honestly, this table just looks upside down.
That's the way.
Flip it the other way, and that's 90% of people's predictions for this group stage. So, day 2, Group B, is off to an incredible start. And as we asked before, if you have any predictions, who do you think is going to take this championship? Tweet it, hashtag IEM. Now that this is underway, has that changed your opinion? If so, why?
Well, let's actually take a look at the Evil Geniuses team sheet. You know, we know the players. We're going to get this up very, very quickly. And, you know, Jared,
I want to talk a bit about the history here. This is a very exciting game. There's a lot of drama, and the stakes here, the emotional stakes are huge. If you recall, if you didn't see it, in the OGM Summer Final, in the Grand Final, EG played.
Under CLGU, yeah.
Yes, under CLGU at the time. And they were up 2-0. And lost the series 3-2, which is heartbreaking. Then met again in the World Finals in LA for Season 2 and lost 2-1 in the semifinals again. Revenge, as I said yesterday, is a great motivator, and I think this would be the perfect time for EG to break that curse, get out of their slump, crush this game, and show us the skills we know they have, but are just keeping bottled at the moment.
Well, their opponents is, of course, going to be Azubu Frost. Let's pull up the team sheet and run through. I did it. CJE Enters Frost. CJE Enters Frost. They are under a new banner. I knew I was going to slip up. Today was my turn.
Azubu having just picked up the title sponsorship now on Taipei Assassins and Taipei Snipers. So it's all about to get even more confusing.
And of course, yeah, CJE Enters Frost, Shy, Cloud Temple, Rapid Star, Woong, and Mad Life. You know, such strong play. They took a loss earlier in the day. It actually caught me by surprise. I was thinking that Frost was probably going to pick up the victory against SKT, you know, Telecom Team 1. But, you know, the Twitch play, Raven, too strong. So we'll see what they decide to play in this particular matchup.
I'm not going to be surprised at all if we start seeing that ban late in the tournament. Yes, okay, they just lost to Anexus, but his Twitch was very, very strong. Has played that very well for the first 2 games. So teams are going to have picked up on that now, and I suspect he'll be banned later on. But they're not in this game. That doesn't matter. EG versus Frost are. Woong is here, and he has misfortune. We saw her banned yesterday. Will we see her banned again?
It wouldn't surprise me. The champion is so powerful and offers so much early game strength, mid game strength. Does fall off a tiny bit towards the end once that bullet time cannot, you know, completely tear people apart. But, you know, we'll see who he decides to play. Very, very strong player on a number of champions. And, you know, you heard D-Man saying it, you wandered into the Woong neighborhood.
Well, they're in Champions Select. The first bans are up. No surprise, Thresh gone right away and Singed.
Singed ban straight against Shy. Straight as simple as that. Shy is Singed, has destroyed teams time and time again. I've said it before, we will end up saying it and seeing it again. It will happen.
We saw some amazing Singed play yesterday.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those champions that once he does get ahead, there's no ways to reclaw it back because you cannot chase him, you cannot lock him down. He has so much utility, sustained with his ultimate. It's incredibly difficult. We do see Misfortune has been banned out, so well played on that prediction. Lux, Vi, and Needly. So nothing too surprising. Once again, we see the Thresh, Lux, and Needly banned out against Evil Geniuses. I believe that's a mirror of their previous game as well. That's what MYM banned, if I recall correctly.
Yes, exactly, in that order.
Not sure where EG are going to put this Jarvan. I'm suspecting, and the only place I can really see him having gone in previous games and in team comps is in the jungle.
Yeah.
But it's Snoopy.
We haven't seen him, but
one of Snoopy's champions.
we have seen Snoopy playing a number of different champions as well. He has been expanding his champion pool to varying levels of success, but you know, if he does decide to take that job into the jungle, I want to see what else gets selected, because you know, Kale's still available for selection. We're into the 5th pick and it has not been locked in. So you know, it's a high priority champion that we've seen time and time again, and interestingly not been locked in. And I'm questioning, I wonder if Wicked would be thinking about a Renekton pick maybe.
Possibly. There's also the fact that Froggen has been playing, and well, not has been, but has played in the past Jarvan in the middle. He tried it with Xin Zhao, he's tried it with a couple of other melee bruisers, he's tried it with Jarvan. There is that Renekton pick, the easy call on. It's one of Wicked's go-tos. I mean, his Shen was up there before, his Irelia, everyone knows his Irelia.
Yeah.
Renekton's his other one. He leveled a Smurf with Maluno alongside it. Maluno were jungle, only jungle Mundo up until, this was back in the old system. They went nothing but from 0 to 2.4k elo on just Mundo in the jungle and just Renekton in the top lane. They were on some crazy win streak of like 51 games and 2 losses or something ridiculous on those 2 Smurf accounts.
Almost as good as my records.
Just about.
Well, Renekton is incredibly strong in that top lane, and we have seen Snoopy, Wicked, putting some very good performances in with Renekton, with that giant crocodile, so we'll see if he can emulate the success. At the moment, it looks as though Madlife has said, I want to play a Lulu, so please hover over her for me. 8 seconds left on the clock. If they lock in this Rumble, we'll most likely see that Rumble in the top lane, and then probably Shen in the jungle being played by Cloud Templar. It's not something we see all too often.
Switch at the last second to Elise. It's going to be Elise versus Renekton, which is an interesting option. I mean, Renekton is very strong in the early game, starts to get a bit tanky and becomes a armor pen, a shredder bot, and still does a lot of damage, magic damage and physical damage throughout the late game teamfights. Elise a little bit weaker early on, but she does scale very, very well. Has the percentage health damage, has good stun, a lot of CC, a lot of escapes too, using that E straight up, rappelling down onto a creep or something similar. Should be okay to survive against Wicked once he comes dashing out through those creeps, slice and dice, stun. Leave it at that. So she should be okay. But the one thing I do want to look at, Lulu Caitlyn. Korean teams were the first that we saw do it. Has been tried by a couple of others. We've seen it put in the middle lane, complete lane swap, put in the mid lane, little on-side of a creep wave, build over Peacemaker up a piece wave, first tower, mid tower dead, 3 minutes, and that's an incredible amount of map control that comes straight off that.
Even if they don't go mid lane, they can do a similar swap to top lane. Yep. You know, the shoving power that Lulu offers you along with the Caitlyn is huge. And we are just waiting for Joe Miller to burst on camera right now with a giant banana, because Soraka has been locked in. So Soraka, Varus bottom lane, and Nivea has been picked as well. We mentioned it, that it wasn't banned, it was available, and you know, Froggen, if it's there, he'll consider picking it up. But Gragas can do very well against Nivea, especially in the early levels. He's got good pushing power, also has the ability to displace Nivea with that ultimate, and that is very, very key in setting up kills and setting up ganks.
I really like this EDT comp. It suits them much better. They have that ridiculously big, tanky front line. Jarvan, Nectar. They're going to get huge if it all goes to plan. They're going to stand there and they're going to lock people up in CC and not let them through. You're then going to have Varus ultimate flying into that team that's running at you. It's going to lock up the first one. It's hopefully going to chain to a couple more and not let them come through. You've then got a wall from Anivia. You've then got the ultimate from Anivia. Even harder to get through that. And while you're on that slow, it's going to make Varus' ult easier to chain. If one person gets through, gets onto one squishy target, Anivia or Varus, quick heal from Soraka, and suddenly they stop taking any damage at all because it's that massive armor buff, and they get a lot of their health back. It's much more EG oriented, much safer, and we saw him come back from 29, 30k gold differentials, turtling with Anivia. That's possible here too.
Just quickly before we jump into this as well, you cannot counteract the passive of Soraka. Going to be bumping everybody's magic resistance against that Gragas and the Elise, and of course the Demacian Stang from Jarvan going to be bumping the defensive stats as well. So good auras from Evil Geniuses.
And of course, constantly keeping Varus with mana so he can actually trade well with Caitlyn in lane. He's got a much shorter range, but he can E. I think LP likes to max his E first.
E first on Varus is a much more common thing nowadays. I mean, a couple of people have done Q because they want the range damage, but it's more common to see that E. The one thing I do want to point out, that perfect combo I mentioned from EG, not always possible when Gragas puts his ult down and just destroys your front line. Pushes them away and they're not there anymore.
All right, well, the players are in the game. It's loading. Everybody's ready. I'm so excited for this game. Could be one of the greatest revenges ever seen on camera. Revenges? That's not a word. All right, we're going to go over to our casters for this game. We have Lee, Demon Smith, and Jason Kaplan. Enjoy.
Yes, welcome ladies and gentlemen. We are about to get underway. Evil Geniuses versus CJ Enters Frost. And as just mentioned, Evil Geniuses never, ever beaten CJ Enters Frost in live competitive game. Can they get revenge for the Season 2 Regional World Semi-Finals. Can they get revenge for the OGN Summer Grand Finals? Twice they were beaten in strong competition, but there's the bird, and the bird is the word, and Froggen is on it. But Rapid Star on Gragas. Interesting choice, going for that one. Shy, switching up, going for that. Elise, and honestly, after seeing Meet Your Makers 3 times repel out of those crescendos, Crepo said, you know what? Going with Soraka.
Yeah, he doesn't want to try, because usually he goes with Soraka Varus combo to really harass the lane. But, you know, the way EG been playing, we saw him at LCS, you even said it yourself, they're on a tilt up right now. I don't know if they have it. I don't know if they're in that right mindset to really take on their, like, long-time rivals right now.
Well, it's been some amazing results and some surprises, so it could well be on the cards that EG pick up a win here. Who knows? Meet Your Makers, of course, just beaten Evil Geniuses, and Nexus 2-0 up currently in this
that
tournament.
Is crazy.
Nobody would have called that. Honestly, even this morning, we were talking about the Nexus and saying, well, they are really up against it, and without being too rude against them, we thought they were going to be bottom of the pile, but as it is, they are top of the league right now in Group B. Oktoberfest Gragas Rapid Star. Hopefully we'll get a listen of him when he decides to back to base. Here it is, though. Wicked going to be taking away those Wolves along with Froggen, so sharing the experience between the top and the middle laner. Jarvan, Snoopy on Jarvan. I don't think I've ever seen him do that. Certainly in the League Championship Series, he's never played it, and I don't even remember in Season 2 him playing it.
Well, I mean, we're also never really used to see him play any kind of aggressive junglers. There's usually that support type with Cho'Gath and Maokai, but with Season 3, he's finally been expanding, and I'm curious to see how well he actually does on Jarvan. We do see Gragas given blue buffs, so it looks like he will be heading bot lane in a 1v2, as we do see the AD carry and support in the mid lane for Frost.
Crepo just made a mistake there. He just bananaed away the red buff. We just caught it just at the end there. Crepo has that, and he got it with the red buff. Well, you know, bananas with red buff, they're going to do some damage, I guess. So
I think Jarvan might have gotten a little bit more damage off of it.
Snoopy might not be too impressed with that, honestly, but we do see the blue buff but Steel coming in here, and Cloud Templar and Mad Life now around there. So the jungler with the support, there it is. No messing around this time from Cloud Templar, of course, he picked up the blue buff.
Okay, so something really interesting going on in the mid lane. We've seen SK play Fnatic in the LCS, where XPeke played Caitlyn versus Ocelot's Anivia, and he just absolutely got destroyed by that Caitlyn. And we even talked to him after saying, you know, how do you counter that? Or how would you play differently? And he said, nothing, I would just suicide, because he can't really beat that Caitlyn combo. Very interesting, which it leaves Mad Life the ability to roam around, which we just saw. They roamed around into the blue buff, put that ward down, helped secure it away, and Frost, I mean, they so far are outplaying EG at this point.
Normally they do a 3-man dive on the top lane. As it is, they're doing a 3-man pile on the top middle lane. And could they take away this turret early on? Snoopy's going to come around. Is he going to try and slide in and maybe get something off here? The stun is not going to land. And they're just simply trying to play defensive duties. Shy, meanwhile, on that top lane, taken incredibly low by Wicked. So Wicked bullying him out of that top lane, but it's the middle lane where the action's happening. And, well, Frost looking like they may well pick up a turret. They're going to have to back away. You can see the stun coming down on Cloud Templar just as the last minion goes down. Down the bottom lane, we've seen Skara doing this a number of times in North America as Gragas holding out that bottom lane.
Yeah, and we do have to say, I mean, he's running actually 5-pot armor pen to help with, I guess, a little bit of last hitting and a little bit of damage if he was to go head-to-head against that Soraka or that Varus. And yeah, I mean, I love what Frost is doing. Well, I'll stick into that a little bit later as we do see Templar come around from the side, but they took away the blue buff. Snoopy lost his red, unfortunately, to Crepo. And then they pushed middle, so actually, we see Shy getting to the top lane.
They're diving on the top, the repel comes through, they do manage to catch Frost Shy out in a stun. Will the tower hit be enough on Wicked? He has the ignite running, he should be safe though, and he does back away, but it means Shy survives down the bottom lane. Yellow Pete and Crepo having to back away from this one. Crepo still with that red buff on, by the way. Oh dear, it's small mistakes like that can make a game really count. And you know, it's clever play, the fact that they have taken away that middle turret away from Froggen, because Froggen is one of those people that needs to just sit and farm, and Anivia is one of those champions that needs to sit and farm.
It still even goes a step further than that, because they also denied Snoopy a lot. I was trying to go into that. I mean, they took the blue buff away. We saw Crepo take the red, unfortunately. He was level 2 when he was coming into that mid lane to help defend, and by pushing that mid lane with 3 people, you force the jungler to sit there and help out, and with that, Snoopy got put even farther behind. They got that turret, and Frost, they're doing a really good job right now at just overall controlling Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, and obviously with that duo lane switching down the bottom now, it is going to be pressure on towards Yellow Pete and Crepo, because Wound and Mad Life on Caitlyn and Lulu are a much stronger pushing lane than Varus and Soraka. And this is the top lane. That's really their saving grace. Wicked at the moment is winning out that lane pretty heavily against Shy, honestly, which is why you can see Cloud Templar already heading up there to try and go for it. Wicked just has gone aggressive actually in towards Shy. Shy immediately switches, he's baiting him in here, but here comes Cloud Templar just around the side. He's going to get full vision. Shadow Dawn comes across, he's going to get taunted out. Wicked still hanging around here, not even backing away. He thinks he may be able to tank this one up, but I'm not too sure he's going to be able to take it. You can see he's not going to be able to fight it off, and he will try and don't slice the dice, but Shy goes flashing through, and a quick pounce on the Q takes him down.
That was a great play overall by Wicked. He was waiting for that slice nice to come up, finally did, but just didn't get that range he needed. And he was doing, and still is doing, an amazing job for Shy. He's really denying him quite a bit. Snoopy, he's in the shop.
Snoopy's not looking, he was just had P down. Like you said, he was in the shop. And if he'd have had that ultimate, I think he may well have picked up another kill.
And now they can secure this turret, or at least deny a lot of CS over to Wicked. And we do see Wound getting very low in the bot lane.
Wound taken very low indeed. It's going to be a flash banana. It's not going to be enough, but Crepo's going to get taken down by Mad Life. Mad Life turns around. Now he's going to try and take on Yellow Pete. A 2v1 from Mad Life.
And you were saying that the saving grace was in that top lane with Wicked. Now he's being shut down. We see in the bottom, Crepo, he went with that flash heal. He wanted that, the term I coined was burst healing with his ultimate, with his personal heal, and then also the summoner spell, but wasn't enough right there. He tried to do another flash banana, but fortunately for him, it didn't work out in his own, well, it didn't work out, period. It kind of maybe stepped on a banana peel and slipped up. Wow. I know, I forced that one in.
You did indeed, but as it stands, it is Frost. They are 2-0 up. They are coming just short of 2,000 gold advantage.
Listen in.
Gotta do it for you guys. And of course, we are a little distance away from Munich, so Oktoberfest is a long way away as well, so a good few months to go there. But it's good to see that Rapid Stars actually getting in the spirit of things, taking a German skin while we are here in Hanover for the Intel Extreme Masters World Finals. The problem is, who will be able to win it? I mean, honestly, EG, they are up against, and you know, if you'd have said 2 weeks ago coming into this tournament, yeah, definitely got to give them a chance. But after going 1-4 in Super Week of the League of Legends Championship Series, they're 1-0 down already against Meteor Makers, a non-LCS team who failed to qualify. You would not have predicted this.
Yeah, you really wouldn't. And it's really unfortunate because EG, Snoopy kind of counterpicked himself a little bit. I mean, he went Jarvan as a first pick, and because of that, everyone at CJE Entus has a way to escape, except Lulu. Like, everyone can get out of that Cataclysm minus Lulu, and even if you do catch her, she can use the ultimate, knock you up, and potentially knock you out of your own Cataclysm. So Jarvan not really going to be effective as the game progresses on. I mean, he's strongest in his early game, but we saw Stupid just be shut down completely so far.
And the fact that he's gone, you know, Flash Ignite versus a Flash Heal, it's just showing that he wants to be a bit more of aggressive support, Mad Life. Quite happy to try and burst down any of his opponents. Crepo clearing out, got that pink ward, Bananas clearing in, but here comes a blue buff invade from Frost, and Froggen is not set up in any way for this one. Of course, they do have the timer down because they stole it away at the start, and Wicked immediately have to back off.
Well, the thing is, they took the blue, but they didn't take the 2 minions, the small ones, so they don't actually have the exact time. But still, they're trying to control Froggen, just like you're saying. They're trying to deny him that blue buff, which he's gonna need to have that sustained to really defend. But as you're seeing, they have no vision of it. Frost take it away, and it's just a standard play right there. You should kind of really expect that when you're EG at this point, when you know every team tries to do that to you when you run a Froggen.
Well,
sorry, not running a Nivea, not a Froggen.
They realize that obviously that blue buff has gone. It's Cloud Templar that picked it up. Bottom lane getting pushed again. Evil Geniuses might be able to try and take their first turret of the game. They do put a good bit of pressure on Woong. Here comes Stan United though. Will they be able to take him down in time? Yellow Pete trying to flash away from this one. Yellow Pete does pick up the kill there with a quick snipe down, but Crepo in all sorts of trouble. He's going to go down. It's a support for an AD. Crepo's still not gone down. Rapid Star finally finishing him off.
Yeah, it was a nice trade.
Oh, meanwhile at the top lane, Wicked actually chasing on towards Shy. He's going to catch him out. Shy taking very low. One more hit, and Wicked does get the kill, winning out that lane quite strongly, to be honest.
Yeah, and considering that he actually got ganked to the top lane, he got first blooded, he was pushed out of the lane yet again, and they saw an entire wave or two missed by him. He's still ahead in CS. He is their saving grace at this point with that 1-1 score, and if he can keep up with this, I mean, Wicked, we have to say, over the past 4 or 5 weeks in LCS has played so solid for his team. He really is that rock that they need right now.
Well, can he be enough as the Dragon gets picked up? And the gold stretches to 2,000 as Wicked pushes in. Is he going to be able to get that tower trade? I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take it down this time around. And now Yellow Pete in trouble down the bottom lane. Here comes the ultimate barrel, blowing him backwards. And Pete realizes he is a dead man. It will be Rapid Star surely that will finish it off. No, it's not. It's going to be Cloud Templar that goes in and finally picks it up. Rapid Star close to actually getting taken back out there, but Wicked still working down that top turret. He's got a siege minion wave there. Shy is going to push him away, so that tower will stay safe for a little bit longer, and the bottom one will go down, so that's going to be 2-0 in turrets for Frost.
Kind of a little bit surprised, actually, the build Shy has been going with. I mean, he goes for a Doran Shield. I was kind of expecting the Seeker's Arm Guard, because it gives you a nice amount of armor, gives you a nice amount of magic, AP, and also it builds into that Zhonya's later on if you do need to use it, but still, he's trying to just survive against him. Wicked doing a phenomenal job. He's going for that standard build of, it looks like he's going to go for a Warmog as his first item, or maybe still that Sunfire Cape. And Rapid Star, 2 Doran's Rings, Demon. I don't really remember the last time I see the Doran's Ring actually picked up as an item, but get that extra little bit of health, that extra bit of AP, not to mention the mana back on the last hits, and the mana regen just helps him kind of sustain a little bit, as he's been roaming around quite a bit. He hasn't really been in a lane this entire game.
Well, young Jason, I think your mind needs testing, because I'm pretty sure I saw quite a lot of Doran's Rings yesterday. Maybe just my old age is dreaming these things up, but I'm absolutely certain I did. Okay. As it is, Shy is getting pressured a little bit here by Wicked again, and Wicked really starting to build a bit of dominance up. Bottom turret finally gone down, so Evil Geniuses do pick up their first turret of the game. That's still a 2,000 gold lead, and we see a bit of a collapse on that top lane, but it was Madlife that got spotted out by the ward, which is warned out Wicked, actually. Wicked pulling out that ward, making sure he doesn't get dove on the top turret, but there is a 3-man CJ Enters Frost team on this top lane. Does manage to clear out the wave, and he realizes he needs help. We see Froggen heading that way.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to get there in time, though. He doesn't really have the damage he needs at this point. But we do see them coming in, and this is going to be very big for CJ Frost. They should be able to lock down this turret, and that will be a 3rd turret of the game for them. And EG, they just weren't really in position, unfortunately, to stop that. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it's
going to get caught out there, and there's going to be the explosive cast. Rapid Star on him. Does manage to use Wish, tries to keep himself safe, and survives the burst of damage from Rapid Star.
And that's the burst healing we're talking about, to stop the burst damage that Gragas can put out. And he was forced to use that summoner heal there, and obviously his own as well, but he doesn't really have anything just yet. I mean, we've seen him get really bossed around in that bottom lane, just has that Sightstone, doesn't have the Ruby Sightstone version of it. He's going to need that extra bit of health, and probably a lot of cooldown reduction, because he's not running any runes for that to help with that long cooldown long cooldowns that Straka really has.
Oh. We're seeing Wicked actually pursuing Rapid Star. Was in the mid lane, but it's the bottom lane here where the top lane, that's everything's happening. Wicked with Snoopy, Crepo in the distance, just popping off the heels and keeping them at bay. And Yellow Pete actually getting quite a bit of free farm while that was all happening. So he's up to 105. He's going to go back and get himself the Bloodthirster complete item, I believe now. Let's see whether he does. Yes, he does. Gets the Bloodthirster. As you can see, he's obviously got that CS advantage, but the fact that there's a 2-tower advantage and a dragon advantage means that, as it is, Woong has the extra gold.
And Frost is really pulling every one of EG up towards his top side. We do see all 5 members currently there, and it looks like they might try to go in here, and they're actually going to engage on Shy.
Well, we see Wicked backing away, and they do try and engage for it, but Wicked's taken very low. The stun comes through. He's going to be the Cataclysm on towards Shy. Actually, it's not what they wanted, because here comes Cloud Templar. Wild Growth popping every single member of Evil Geniuses in the air. Wicked is going to go down. It's Woong that gets the kill, and now they're on towards Froggen. Shy's going to try and catch him out. Oh, but Froggen picks up the kill. He's been popped into reverb. Rapid Star should be able to take him down. Snoopy's trying to put the damage down. Cloud Templar almost going down. He does get picked up by Froggen at the end there. It's a 2-for-3 exchange. Can they take down Madlife? Now Froggen is going to get ace in the hole. The explosive cask missed, but he's going to get caught out again. Madlife taking damage. Woong taking damage. He tries to turn it around to Woong. Can he get Madlife? No, because the tower of damage was brilliantly engaged, and CJ Enters Frost will take a tower. It's a 4-for-2 exchange.
That 4-for-2 exchange was insane. Froggen coming up big for his team right there, getting a blind. Actually, no, sorry, it wasn't blind. He did have a ward down, but that kill on the Shy, then even popping out of that rebirth, killing Templar on the back of that. A 4-for-2 and a turret for Frost. Overall, they completely won that fight, and that little ultimate you pointed out during the fight, that was so spot on and knocking every member of Evil Geniuses up that they just could not react to that, and they didn't have the tankiness or the damage it needed to take down all the members of Frost.
Well, Madlife controlling that fight, I feel that. As has often been the case. You know, I was stood earlier in between Shy and Rapid Star. I won't say where. But for a moment, I felt like I was Cloud Templar. I was like, this must be what it'd be like. In between 2 amazing players. As it is, though, Cloud Templar is bullying out Wicked. and trying to pressure him down. Giant's Belt, well, what a surprise there. Giant's Belts across the board. Now, not everyone's stacking them up just yet, though. The League of Warmogs has changed a little bit of late, and actually has turned into a fair bit of damage. Infinity Edge being picked up by Woong. The question is, Froggen's on Anivia. We know Anivia can stall the game out. Can he stall it out long enough as Wicked and Cloud Templar just have a little bit of a slap and tickle down the bottom?
Slap and tickle. It just depends on how well Froggen is at positioning. We know him to be pretty much spot on every single point in the game, but having that Gragas ultimate to really just mess up the whole team, that displacement of EG, it allows Frost to get in there. If they can get a nice taunt off, they can get a nice cocoon, and then not to mention the ultimate out of Lulu to knock up some people, they easily can get past that wall, and that's the problem. If EG can deal with that, then they can hold on to this game and can easily turn it around.
Well, Dragons up in 3, 2, 1, spawn. And there it is. So Evil Genius is looking like they may try and fight for this one, and it's a fight they have to win. They are 8-4 down in kills currently. 4,000 gold in gold. Gold in gold? Wow, who thought? CJ enters Frost, though. They are working it down. In goes Wicked. They're diving on towards the Dragon, but it's Cloud Templar that smites it out there. The barrel is just placed between them, and now Cloud Templar is going to try and turn and get an aggression, but they do manage to pin out Cloud Templar. The damage going down, but it's not enough there. Snoopy gets popped up. The wild growth used on Cloud Templar to keep him alive, and now Frost turning this aggression back on towards Evil Geniuses. There's nothing worth fighting for. Everybody backing away, but it's Frost that wants to pursue this one. Remember, there's no middle turret. They might be able to catch on towards it. Shy is going to try and repel in there. They're diving on towards Froggen. Can they get the cocoon on him? Yes, they can. And that's going to be Froggen going down. No rebirth to save him. The heal comes out. Is it going to be enough? Froggen surely will get caught down. It's Mad Life that picks up the kill. He can into the Woong neighborhood.
Yes, he did indeed, Demon. And that whole play started off with Mad Life. A great polymorph out of him. Caught Snoopy, which...
Oh, Yellow Pete's caught out by a cocoon. It's going to be the belly roll from Rapid Star. But, well, he's just a skinny Korean. It's not really doing that much.
It's not like the Dragon Board's chest bump. But it was a great polymorph out of Mad Life to stop Snoopy for being able to potentially smite that away. And Frost playing so well right now, trying to get down this inhibitor turret. And I don't think they can actually commit to it, as if Frog going to come up in 1 second.
Well, Shy has used that cocoon to pick up 2 fantastic kills. As it is, Frost have backed away, picking up yet more gold. 7,000 gold lead now, 9-4 in kills, 5-1 in turrets, and Wicked is coming down. He's going to clear out that wave, no problem. Cloud Templar, I don't think, is going to get involved in this fight. I think they're going to let him have the CS. You can see they're still lingering off at the side, but there's no teleports to come in and help, so Cloud Templar being more of a nuisance than anything.
Yeah, and that's always the worst thing about a Shen. If you just start split pushing you Wicked, I don't think you can actually take him on head just because he can run away, obviously, and is tanky enough to really deal with it. And it's a jungle Shen too, and usually they don't really go for this kind of build where they get that Sunfire cape because they don't have the money they need, they don't have the kills or assists to really get it. But so far with that 1 kill, 6 assists, he's able to go for more of a standard Shen build. And over for EG, I mean, we talked about Wicked. He was the only one winning his lane. But it's at that point where he's going to start to fall off a little bit. He's going to be extremely tanky, but his damage is really going to start to subside. And Frost, they have the ability to control that.
So what are Evil Geniuses going to do? Again, that continuing the little slap and tickle down the bottom lane. Wicked and Cloud Templar just rubbing up against one another, but nothing really, no damage being done.
Slap, tickling, and rubbing.
It's all going on down that bottom lane, trust me. It's the place to be. As it is, the mid lane is where the damage is coming out, and there's 4 members of Evil Geniuses trying to set up here, but it's Shy that's pushing the top lane. He's got a big creep stack going down there, and they're gonna have to deal with him. They need to back away. Yellow Pete will probably throw out that volley of arrows in a moment just to keep them at bay. They are trying to collapse. He saw Shy, he tried to maneuver around, see if he could get that cocoon down across on anyone backing off. He is still just around that wolves with Mad Life. And that Oracle of Mad Life has been clearing out ward after ward after ward. Evil Geniuses do clear out the one in the mid lane. The Cloud Templar, he's going to go back. He's going to get himself a Sunfire Cape completed. And that split push is going to do more and more damage. But the fact is they have 2 split pushes because Shy has been doing just the same thing.
And right now, EG, they lost complete control of their own jungle. They don't have that Oracle built up just yet. We see Crepo doesn't have the money for it. They need to gain control of their jungle back, or at least let Inhibitor go down where they can start.
How are they going to go for it? They could just come around. They completely maneuver them here. They could just outmaneuver. They could pile up the middle, or they could just completely catch across instead.
And they're going for that middle push.
They go straight for the middle, and Evil Geniuses are totally out of position here. Can they try and catch anyone coming around? They're going to see. You can see the the trap goes down. Nobody can come that way because they're just going to eat a cocoon to the face, and Shy immediately going to pressure through. They have the minion wave coming round, but they have managed to force them away here, kind of bullying them away. Can they catch on towards Woong? Has the 90 caliber net away. Wicked couldn't get on there.
Well, they can transition down to the spot lane because Templar has been pushed out this entire time. Pings are going down for Baron for them as well, but with that Oracle, which has worn off at this point, they don't really have a way of clearing out anything that EG, or any site that EG currently has. And as we see that, 4 members of EG going down to defend this turret, and Frost, it's up to them to make the play here, but they will be walking by the sword, and EG is going to have a chance to stop this Baron, prevent it, or at least steal it away.
They're a hell of a long way away. They just realized there's 4 members of EG down the bottom lane. They have to run all the way up here. They've got nothing that can come from range. They've got no teleport, and CJ Enters Frost are going to start this one off. They could be very quick. They realize here comes Yellow Pete. They immediately disengage because that single ward in the river helping out EG. They're going to transition to the top lane.
And it's a perfect play right now.
Mid.
Yeah, it's a base race that they're not really going to win here as they're already missing these two.
They're not going to base race it. Surely they're going to have to back away, and everybody from Evil Genius's backs off. They've got to defend that inhibitor. Of course, there is only 2 minions, so it's not exactly a big creep wave to help out Frost here, but they're going to get towards the turret quickly. Cloud Templar will be available to Shadow Dash in. They're going to catch on towards Shy. They managed to taunt him out and stun him up there. Froggen with a great combination. Does keep them away from that turret for a short while, but it's the bottom inner turret going down. Cloud Templar working it down. There's nothing they can do against this split push.
It's the mind games they're doing right now because they pushed that mid lane when we saw them EG out of position in their own jungle. Then they all fake going down to bottom where all 4 members of EG came down to stop that. But at the same time, Frost went up towards Baron. They're really like dragging them away from every single lane, preventing them from getting farm and playing these really intensive mind games that are throwing EG off.
And the Dragon will be up in 23 seconds, which is just enough time for all of Frost to back off, buy, and come back and pick up some more gold. Will Evil Geniuses try to counter it? How are they looking in a team fight? If it was to come down to that team fight, are they able to compete right now? Because they're 8,000 gold behind, 6-1 in turrets. Big difference in vision.
They have some really good damage on top of them. It all comes down to, I think, how Froggen and Kreppel really interact here. If they can get the wall off and that silence, which Kreppel's been doing every time so far, they have the potential to stun them and burst them down quickly enough. However, everyone on Frost is so mobile. Jarvan's ultimate is pretty much useless unless they have no flash or escape up.
They may beat them here. They may beat them here. Evil Geniuses going straight down to that bottom. Shy is well away. You can see that Woong was picking up the red buff. They don't realize it, but they've managed to position themselves really well. They're trying to get around there. Cloud Templar wants to get in and try and get the smite steal instead. They might try and turn this one to the kill. They do manage to wall off nicely. That's the Dragon picked up. They needed that. That's just pouring back into the gold. The ultimate catching on towards Rapid Star there. Stand United immediately used out there. They're going to turn their attention onto Woong. Can they catch on towards him? Wicked caught out by Shy with a great cocoon, and now he jumps in. Wild growth from Shy, but he's going to lay down the damage. Repels across, avoids it. That's going to be Wicked going down. The front tank line's dropped, but Woong does go down by Froggen. The wall does prevent him, but Shy throws out the cocoon. He's going to get on towards Krepo. Krepo goes down. It's a double kill for Shy. It's now a 3-for-1 engage, and CJ Enters Frost. They're going to push straight up that mid lane. Froggen's being kept at bay by Mad Life.
And that just shows you kind of how far EG is behind. They took Woong out fairly early on in the fight, but they can't deal with the damage out of Rapid Star. They can't deal with the damage with Shy. They don't have that magic resist they need. Need to see some sort of runic bulwark coming out very soon. Mad Life with that Oracle clearing out even more wards.
They thought he was going to go for it. Instead, he's going to try and get back and defend this inhibitor. The inhibitor's quite close, but there comes Froggen. He's going to try and defend it out there. Should be able to just hold it out there. Shy's going to get caught, not quite down, but he should be just one little hit. It's all it requires, but a great bit of control, and Shy walks away.
That was a great little bit of a microing right there, dodging that stun. He surely would have been dead, and with the gold he has to back with, as we have 2,000 on Cloud Templar at this point, Elise has 1,500, we see 1,200 on Lulu. They have so much gold, they can complete a couple more items here, and this Baron is a very feasible thing for them to go for. They can bait EG out a little bit. They have that middle inhibitor open, so they could obviously go for that right after backing and buying up, and then they could have that Baron right after that, which, with the super minions pushing on that mid lane, EG can't really go against.
And they're pushing on towards the mid. Krepo's keeping Woong away, and Woong needs to be very careful he doesn't get caught out by combination from Froggen just like that. But he manages to 90 caliber net just at the right time. Ace in the hole fires, gets protected straight out by Snoopy's shield. Nicely done. Wicked pushing that top lane. Might be able to pick up a turret here for Evil Geniuses. Yes, he will. It's going to be 5-2 in turrets, 7-2, sorry, in turrets. Wow, I forgot how quick that turned around. But they are continuing to chase. Mad Life goes in, puts the ward on the blue buff. Can he get the steal away? No. Tried to go for the Glitter Lance.
It's a good effort. I'll give him an A for effort there. I mean, they've controlled Froggen so far really well this game with all these blue buffs. I think that's the first one he's actually gotten this entire game. And as you see, has that Rod of Ages, has that Chalice.
That's a really good spot by Mad Life. I couldn't even see that. There was a ward underneath on the exact same pixel, so the wards looked like they were stacked, but he managed to spot it.
Well, that attack moving into bushes is always really helpful. But we do have Cloud Templar still. I mean, he spent more time in this bot lane than he's been around this entire map as he just keeps pushing it over and over, forcing someone on EG to really deal with him. And this allows that split push that's so hard to deal with as the other team when you're already behind at this point. But they could go for that 5-man push on the inhibitor, and I'm kind of surprised they haven't gone for that just yet because that opens up so many more opportunities for him.
So Leandris and Rylas on Shy. We've seen a couple of good Elises, and do you think it's, after watching the last game, they just thought, Elise, they don't seem to be able to handle it? Do you think it's just simply a case of adopting? But, I mean, Elise is a strong champion anyway.
Oh, they get that ward over by Baron, so he just still has no sight. But I mean, yeah, she's such a strong champion. She's so mobile. She's so strong because that ultimate gives her those extra abilities, just like Nidalee.
They've spotted Yellow Pete saying he's down the bottom here. Let's try and start a Baron out. And you can see they're trying to force it as well. Oracle on Mad Life has been paying dividends because they're clearing out ward after ward after ward, purposely hanging on there, letting Woong have it. Woong, Crepo just got to dodge out the way of that cocoon. Wicked, is pushing that middle turret, so he may be able to take an advantage from this one. They do manage to take the turret down, so again, denying a little bit of vision. Stand United coming out from Frost here. They realize that Snoopy is a long way away. They have no smite still. You can see Snoopy is hot footing it up here. The question is, the Baron is going too quick. The Varus ultimate goes in there. Wicked is going to engage. He gets quickly caught out there, and much his support, the ultimate goes in, but it's Cloud Templar that picks up the Baron, and now, wow, Evil Genius is getting dropped. Froggen goes down. Rapid Star's taken very, very low, but they can't manage to land a kill. Wicked's trying to get something out of nothing. Snoopy goes in. Cataclysm goes down, does pick up one, but Yellow Pete immediately gets caught out. Shy gets on him. Yellow Pete is going down. He got cocooned out and stunned out. Mad Life now going straight on towards Crepo. Crepo gets caught out, and now Cloud Templar chases. Snoopy tries to get the knockup, but they could come around on towards Wicked. They will not quite get the full shadow dash. The cocoon comes out, but the slice and dice is going to be enough. No! He gets taken down by Shy, and now Snoopy comes in. He's going to have to get away. The rappel comes out. Shy's going to continue chasing. He will get caught out by the shadow dash, and that is the ace for Frost, and maybe even the game. The inhibitor will go down. Fantastic play from CJ Enters Frost. They just lost one person in the entire fight.
A 5-for-1 and picking up Baron on Frost. You'd be happy with that any day. And I love what Rapid Star did in that entire fight. He got very low after picking up a kill, but he just sat in Baron Pit, baiting Wicked into there, and then he just rolled out of it. And it really baited Wicked into the wrong side of the map. They had to do with Shy, who is just playing so well, and not to mention Mad Life. He got a double kill. He's 5-0 and 10.
He's 5-0 and 10.
He's on Edward's level right now.
He isn't quite the Thresh Prince of Armenia, but he's definitely a. I'm not sure what I could use for Lulu from Korea.
I can't think of any either. You're much better at this than I am.
I'm sure if I knew the Korean language better, I might be able to come up with something. But as it is, I'll have to leave that one for Doa. 17-6 in kills. It's Frost with a huge lead once again over Evil Geniuses, looking at possibly a 0-2 for EG to start in the group. We saw it with Fnatic yesterday. Maybe, just maybe, the Super Week was a big issue for these teams, but Gambit proof otherwise. They are 5-0, and wow, interesting item. And this is the first time I've ever seen this item. It's the Ohm Wrecker.
Why not? You have the money for it. You're Mad Life. You're 5-0 and 10. That item is going to be very interesting for them, even though they really don't have to dive under any turrets. There's only 2 or 3 left in this game for them to use it on. But
well, they could dive onto the Nexus turrets and just play safe. I mean, there's nothing that EG can do to stop them now.
Yeah, and it gives them, 350 health, gives them 50 ability power, that health regen, mana regen, and the active of it, which is so nice, stopping turrets from hitting you for 2.5 seconds. That really is a long time, especially when you're EG, when you're depending on those turrets to be hitting the enemy team.
Look at him zipping around, little Lulu with that big hat. Woong keeping the poke down on towards the turret. And this turret again, Woong gets caught out here. They're going to dive on Cataclysm, and Stan United comes out and he just gets straight away. And wow, look at the defensive work. Oh, Shadow Dash catches out 3 members of Evil Geniuses. Yellow Pete having to get healed up, and he's not going to be enough. He's trying to kite out with the rappel from Shy. Goes leaping straight in. There's Cloud Templar that picks up the kill. They are just getting dropped left, right, and center. Woong picks up the final kill, and that is just going to be domination for CJ Enters Frost. They're going to go with an ace and take down the final Nexus Monsters turrets. They are going to go 1-1 in the group stage, but it's Evil Geniuses up against it. Has the curse of Evil Geniuses followed through into League of Legends? We will find out. Same back place, same butt time.
Oh man, that's kind of messed up to bring that up, Demon, but still, it's very true. And you know, Snoopy, we just saw right there in that fight why he kind of counterpitched himself, picking that Jarvan so early on. You caught Woong, but he just 90 caliber netted out of it, and CJ Frost picking up a very solid victory. I love the mind games they played the entire time, Demon.
22 kills entirely done for CJ Enters Frost. 5-0-15 for Mad Life, involved in 20 of them. God Life, more like. We're going to go back to our analysis desk to take us through that dominating performance by Frost.
Thank you, Lee. Welcome back to the analyst desk. Just want to say, Lee, in case I forget later, I love you, man. I might have spent that game crying, but you helped me up, dude. Wow. So strong by Frost. So strong. And
unable to defeat CJ Enters Frost on LAN every single time they have met. There was a few respectable moves coming out of Evil Geniuses, but to be fair, from very early on, missing a few shots that they needed to have landed and not really able to convert any of the advantages that they could have made.
Right out of the gate, they missed that first blood. Jarvan just missed his skill shot, and it would have been first blood instead. And who knows how the game might have changed.
Yeah, like half a second later, that stun would have been active. He could have landed the EQ, would have had that extra damage, would have got his passive up. Maybe you got it. Would have been close, but more of a chance than straight up missing the knockup. That's a big problem. I mean, you also got to look at the sense that EG, they are all known for their favorite champions, and everyone knows Froggen and Nivea.
Yeah.
Okay, they gave it to him. No problem with that. They did that on purpose. They were ready for it. How do you counter Nivea? Or Caitlyn. Pekka's done it straight up. Just Caitlyn and Nivea. We mentioned in Champ Select, you can do Caitlyn Lulu mid lane. That's what they did. How do you stop her from farming? You take a turret. That's what they did. So the strongest player on EG with his favorite champion, like, all right, we're going to have to give one of them to it. We'll give it to Froggen, and we'll destroy it. Yeah. And he couldn't do anything. And he couldn't farm, which is what Froggen loves to do. He'd have to just sit there and farm, and that wasn't possible. And from that point on, they just took a little bit of advantage, after a little bit of advantage, just kept it going. And EG just never really seemed to mesh.
We have to give mad props to Froggen though, because even though he got his signature champion, it wasn't really enough to help convert them. But some of the plays that he was making, again, we have one replay that we're going to queue up in just a moment. But from the time his rebirth was reactivated, he had about half a second from the time when he respawned to be able to jump back into the fight. And in that half second, he managed to land his ultimate and his Q, I think, or his E, onto Cloud Templar, while under attack from 3 different champions of CJ Enters Frost. My jaw dropped, and we'll show it to you in about quarter speed because it's inhuman, his reflexes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll bring it up on screen now. It's his fight. It's about 13.5 minutes, you say. It's in the top lane. I don't want to say the point that EG lost because they were a long way behind here already.
But it demonstrates the pace of the game.
Deal. And
let's jump
shows
into
you
the
how
replay.
strong Frost are, their positioning, their teamwork, the way they can control EG. And I mean, you see here, as soon as the call goes out to take this fight, EG use their abilities. But it's just not there.
Let's paint the picture really quickly. As we look at the picture, you can see that Mad Life and Woong, they've actually put a Caitlyn trap, a little Yordle snap trap in the bush. They're waiting for Wicked or Crepper or somebody to move up there. You'll see in a moment the rest of CJ Enters Frost actually coming in from the side, and it's a really good positional play from them. They control the map, and Evil Genius is just not really landing their opening initial gambit. Panky, talk us through the fight.
So, Wicked takes that heal, so it's immediately on cooldown, and then they go in on Shy. Just a little bit harassed, nothing too serious here. But Creppo takes that differently. He comes forward, he gets the silence down on Shy. Now here's the engage in the Shay. They go in, the stun misses, the Fire Assault misses, the Jarvan EQ misses, but Snoopy still goes in. As soon as that Fire Assault missed, they should have backed out. As it was, he went too deep. He used his ult, he got in there, he was forced to flash away using a summon he didn't need. As a result, everyone in EG was a lot further in than they needed to be. Cloud Templar landed after casting his ult onto Shy, which kept him alive. And then taunts straight in, flash taunts in even more because he had to get out of that ult, and hits the Lulu ult, or Mad Life hits the Lulu ult on 5 members of EVG. Just
I want to stop and say that again.
In their tracks.
A 5-man knockup from a Lulu ult. I mean, that's more powerful at this time than a Malphite ult without the damage. And unfortunately, we have had a bug splat. I do apologize about that. It was following that fight, though, that some awesome happened.
Yeah, I mean, that 5-man knockup went in. We didn't see Shy get taken very low because he was at the forefront. EG tried to take him down as they kited him back. He headed off, he peeled off in towards the blue buff area, dragging Froggen with him. They kept it going, he kept going low, got out of the vision into the bush. EG didn't have the wards there because they were so poor, they haven't got the map coverage, dragged him further and further in. The rest of EG backed up, past the turret, and he became isolated. As soon as that happened, Frost all dafted into this little pathway. Rapid Star came across from mid, and Lulu and Madlife and Woon came down from the top lane. They cornered him. Did manage to get the kill on Shy as he was in the bush. He was low, landed that last E just as he went out of vision. Good kill. Down into Egg. EG all off around the far side. Try and come back in to try and save him. Just not there. Woon, Madlife are there. With the Glitter Lancer, the pacemakers, the traps, they couldn't get past him. Couldn't touch that. He's still in the Egg. Rapid Star is getting wailing away on him as best he can. Starts drinking. He just stops, he has a drink for a little bit. That gives Froggen enough time to rebirth, come straight back up, and as you say, in the split second, he had less than 100 health. He gets his ultimate cast down on the floor, so it does the double damage, and he lands the kill onto Cloud Templar with a little bit of help from Yellow Pete, firing that blighted arrow all the way across from the
but it was really, really well done.
Perfect timing.
The reaction time was insane, and unfortunately, Evil Geniuses go down, so they're 0-2 in the group.
Yeah, and Frost goes up 2-0. They're now tied with a Nexus.
Indeed.
Can't wait till those guys face off. Match of the day is
game.
That's not on stream.
We might see them on this stream. The original schedule does not have them on the main stage, but I'm seeing good things from the admins. So the fact that the Nexus are playing very well at the moment, we might shuffle some things around. So keep an eye on the stream. We'll let you know what's coming.
Yes. Okay. Well, before we go to a break, we have like a raffle thing. This is IEM. We love giving away free stuff. And what I have here, we have a Gauntlet node. It's from Patriot Memory, which is a primary sponsor of the IEM. Thank you very much, Patriot, by the way, for helping us put this all on. So this thing's actually cool. I didn't know this existed until they just gave it to me. I'll just hold on. The box is kind of big and I'll really. There we go. It's just this small thing. It's a hard drive enclosure. We've all seen that, but this one's wireless. So you put your hard drive in there, and then you can share all of your media that you totally purchased legally with all of the devices in your home. I would never torrent anything.
How do I win one of these?
You go to the Raid Call channel. Raid Call, another sponsor of IEM. The channel is 1997. What's that?
And a sponsor of Evil Geniuses.
Yes.
Gonna happen.
1997 Raid Call channel in 15 minutes, so it gives you enough time to install Raid Call like 18 times over. Go there in the channel. They're going to ask a question. If you answer the question correctly, and I suppose you can win that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I'm going to ask for one of these for free too, and maybe I'll get it.
I hope so.
No harm in asking. So go over to the Raid Call channel, do that. We are going to take a quick break, but first we're going to go to the stage where Shocks is waiting for an interview. Enjoy.
Yes, I'm here with Cloud Templar, who just beat EG. Cloud Templar, did you prepare anything special against EG? You probably had a lot of time to prepare against them, or a lot of stuff.
일단 EG 팀은 정말 강한 팀이고 거기다가 프로겐 선수가 워낙 유명한 선수이기 때문에 프로겐 선수한테 일부러 애니비아를 지어주고 그라가스 한 다음에 라인 수합하는 식의 전략을 준비해 왔습니다.
Well, actually EG is a really good team and they had a lot of games that they can prepare against because of the LCS, and they kind of baited a Froggen to pick Anivia so they could pick Gragas and do a lane swap.
Group didn't start off that good for you as you lost versus SK Telecom. What was the main thing that went wrong there?
첫 경기 SK텔레콤랑 했는데요. 왜 졌는지요?
사실 진 데는 이유가 없다고 생각해요. 저희가 부족하고 SK가 잘해서 저희가 진 거라고 생각하고요. 하지만 어차피 그 경기가 끝이 아니라 앞으로 수많은 경기 중 지금 또 계속 올라갈 수 있기 때문에 다음 경기 더 집중해서 열심히 하겠습니다.
Well, there's no special reason that they lost against them. It was just the fact that SK Telecom played better that game and they were worse. But it was just the first one of 4 or 5 games that they're going to play. So there are a lot of games that they're still going to play and they're going to move up.
Talking about the games you still have to play, or against you're gonna have to play Nexus now. Nexus is looking really good. They beat both SK and SK Telecom. Did you expect that out of that team?
지금 안넥서스 팀이 지금 안넥서스 팀이 2승 0패로 시작하고 있는데 SK 게이밍이랑 SK 텔레콤 이겼는데 안넥서스 뭐 준비해놓은 거 있는지요? 그냥.
사실 아넥스 팀에 대해서 준비해온 건 솔직히 지금은 없지만 지금 굉장히 잘하는 팀으로 알고 있어요. 지금 요번 대회에서 지금 최대한 시간 남는 걸 이용해서 정보를 수집해서 열심히 하겠습니다.
Well, they didn't know about Annexus before this tournament, but after hearing the results and that they beat the really good teams. They're going to use that time that they have to prepare and to find a way to beat them.
Thank you very much, the two of you. We had a couple of games here already, but there's so much more action to come, so don't go anywhere as we dive into a short break, because we'll be right back.